Welcome into our Tuesday morning class, mini class session, everything you can think of, because we're learning how to do strategies that keep you focused, get you results. The biggest thing is really understanding like what we're doing here. So, hi, my name is Rhonda Liebig. I'm a holistic health coach, and what I do as a health coach is help transition your mindset, give you ideas of approaches of new ways to do things so that you get results. I think the things that we do, we think of looking at, Google and doing latest researches and stuff. It's all about diet. It's all about the top 10 this, top 10 that. And what you learn here in the Tuesday calls is how you actually have a no-fail system by learning about yourself. So I'm not going to give you just a list today of things to do, but we're going to talk about things so you get to know yourself. And that is the strong base that you build so that you can make your right decisions. Every time that you learn something new about yourself, it gives you more detail in why you fail to do things or why you accelerate in certain things. And we always focus in on the good. It's always good to know the stuff that's not working. But today, you're going to learn about how to focus on what's working, problem solving instead of making goals, but really getting in there into action by problem solving. What is your struggle? What do you need to do and the steps you need to do to resolve issues? I think that gives more action to what's going on. So welcome into the Tuesday call. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about what happened last week because I had a great question, and I'm going to follow through and give you an idea of what you're going to be learning this week. Actually today, but for this week. And so let's get right into it. How to lose 10 pounds this month, even if you failed in the past. So this is all about you getting to know yourself. Before I start, I want you to know that next week we're going to start in on getting ourselves ready for the spring detox. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let's talk about the detox. Okay, so why is it hard to believe in ourselves? Why do we find it hard to believe in ourselves? I was noticing on my social media, on my Facebook business page, I posted something to the fact that this was starting up, like this Tuesday call was starting up. It was a couple of weeks ago, and just the badge here, the title of, that how you're going to lose weight even if you failed in the past. And it was very interesting because I had 3 people opt out in from my business page just within that day, and I thought it was interesting. Kind of took me a step back, and I thought I made that title because it felt inspiring, like I'm going to be learning stuff, and I already know I failed in the past, so how am I going to get past that? And so I always think that sometimes we believe that we just don't trust ourselves in believing that we got this, that we can leave everything behind, and that the stuff that you learn as you're going through this journey is really going to make you a stronger person. And if we stay in the same state that we have been in, then as we age each year, we kind of just get jaded about things. So this is about refresh look. Let's get away from the no-fail plan and let's get into focus. And so if we don't believe in ourselves, then we don't believe that we can truly get to where we need to, and it becomes a struggle in life. So today, here now, if you haven't been in these Tuesday calls, I welcome you in. Can't wait for you to hear this stuff because I really, truly see this is where the shift is going just in our world. And now, not a lot of people are talking like this. A lot of people are just going into that, you need to solve this one specific issue or that specific issue. And I do focus on blood sugar, but the main focus is I want you to get to know yourself more so that you can make better decisions for yourself. And by the way, by the end of today, within our hour of spending time together, I'm going to also enlighten you on a system that I have going that has been working for people. So you're going to be hearing about it. So welcome in. Okay, so I want you to increase your viewing pleasure by turning everything off that's operating. Silence your phone. Do everything so you can focus in and really challenge yourself to stay present for the entire time. If you do that, you know what? You're going to get 100% more out of it than if you do it halfway in and out, because each step that I built is based on building and the building of the base of what you're doing. And so I need you here the whole time. So let's get going here. So get yourself ready to be in action. Now, why I do these calls, and what I've found is that if a client says, my worst fear is, and they'll say one of these 6 things. And I'll go through each one, but each time that somebody lives in fear stops us from moving forward in a situation. So these are the top 6 things that I hear that us women are dealing with. And one of them is fatty liver. Now, if you ever had a situation where you eat a lot of sugar or you haven't been taking care of yourself, you may have an issue with fatty liver. And that means if your liver is toxic, then everything goes awry. And we're going to get into that because I'm going to talk a bit about that in one of the questions that I got last week. Also, we have fear of cardiovascular disease, heart attacks. So many people in my family have heart disease. And so my fear and why I got into this business was first driven by me being afraid of being sick, like my grandma, my aunt, and so on and so on. And I even lost my dad through a heart attack, but it started with him having diabetes too. So that we'll talk about that. So the next one is diabetes. So if you find that you drink a soda or you have a candy and it gets you up and it gets you all excited and high energy, and then all of a sudden it doesn't affect you anymore and it sometimes even slumps you down, well, then your body is not being affected by the sugar. And so your cells are not easily accepting the sugar. And so it's called insulin resistance because it's not the natural sugar once it gets broken down plus the insulin that's going in. That's what it opens up. That's the key to unlock the energy within the cell. And that's how the natural sugar gets in. So maybe you have fear of diabetes. Maybe that runs in your family. And diabetes, too, is something that's running in your family. Even the heart attacks, we're going to talk about what that really means because it's really about the table food and how we deal with stress and where our emotional state is. Also, cancer. I know so many people that have fear of cancer. I actually know somebody that is working with their breast cancer naturally. And that it's like one of the worst breast cancers, and I don't know what the name of it is. So if you really know a lot about breast cancer, this is an interesting process. But this woman that I know, I met her from a friend, and I was so surprised in her going extreme holistic. And so everything you're going to be learning here today is the stuff that she's doing also. And so it's really about giving yourself that space to truly, finally take care of yourself. So if you're afraid of cancer, I want you to be here, learn some more. Also worried about your sugar addiction. So sugar's like a dopamine effect. It gives you your highs, just like any drug, and it's an legal drug. So it's wonderful to be able to have if you're feeling really, really tired and you do it off and on. But when you have sugar every single day, you're afraid of the addiction because you can't control your weight, your stress, and so on. Also, fear of obesity. We all want to be slender. I mean, gosh, as women, we get very concerned about our weight, and I think it's because it does show that we're healthy. But another thing is we get obsessed and we get it for the wrong reason. I'm not going to go too much into this, but I was just thinking about this. My husband and I were talking about this. The whole, I don't know if you heard recently, but how Cheryl Tiegs was talking about how it was a bad thing for a supermodel to be on the front of Sports Illustrated because she had extra weight on her. They have 3 covers. And I thought it brought up an interesting discussion. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure if it's prejudice because I could see in Cheryl Tiegs' case because the way she, is a supermodel and she's been there, trying to stay as skinny as possible to be seen as this model. But the biggest thing is what I see is that skinny people don't all eat healthy. So if your body physically looks slender, but you're not doing the stuff that you know that you should be doing, the things that brought you into the call today, and you're slender, but you know that you're making some shifts, or others that are eating junk food, but somehow they get away with it, which I think is actually not a good statement because nobody gets away with anything. Their condition starts worsening as they age, and it doesn't matter if you're skinny or bigger, but the fear of obesity gets crazy in our head. And so it doesn't matter what you physically look like right now. I want you to start seeing yourself for maybe symptoms, things that are going on, and things how you're going to be able to lose 10 pounds in a month. And this is serious because this is me helping you do alignment in your wellness plan. So welcome in. This is the 6 reasons why you may be here. This is what I hear. So I want you to feel the fear and do it anyway. So there's going to be things that you're going to want to put a wall up and say, I'm not going to do that. Or I just don't get it. I'm not going to do it. I'm telling you, the results that I get even within a month of somebody focusing in on stuff, even if you don't believe in holistic stuff, stay with me today because you are going to be a believer as you start breathing and start focusing on how much better you feel just by being with me today. Within a week, by making some shifts, even within a couple of days, you're going to start seeing yourself feel and look better. You're going to feel like you can breathe and be more relaxed. And that's if you're here with me 100% today. So what's this all about? I want you to step away from Google. Google is it's a fearful area because, if you say, oh, why do I have, this on my hip? Oh, there's so many things that can come up. Some things that may help you, some things that will just scare you. And most of our doctors will say, don't go Google that. So we're in an information society. But what you're learning today is getting control of what's going on, getting into action, and learning more about yourself. Also, I'm going to give you easy to start and implementation steps. So I'm going to give you some strategies. I'm going to give you the top 5 stuff, approaches, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Also, I want you to understand your health fears. I just gave you 6. It may not have been on that list. But what do you feel when you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel your heart racing? Or you feel like your mouth is really dry, you just can't get enough fluids within your mouth, and so so on and so on. So what's your fear? So I want you to go through the steps of a high energy day with me. So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to help you build your energy through your day. We're first going to talk about where your lows are in your day. As you're thinking about that, I'm going to walk you through a high energy day so you really get your hands around that, because you may not believe it's realistic that you don't have to have that afternoon slump. And the slumps happen based on things that we just don't understand about ourselves. Maybe it's a thought, it's anxiety. Maybe we need to balance that anxiety and our thoughts in a certain way. So I'm actually going to tackle those today. We're really going to talk about that. Also, I'm going to help you build your lifestyle, because lifestyle is all about you saying yes and not no to everything and really living life. So it's a real important thing. Also, I'm going to share with you my signature stuff. We're going to talk about high converting energy food. So yeah, there'll be a top 10 list there, but let me tell you something. It's not going to just be a top 10 list. I'm going to wrap around other things like pre-weight planning formula. Well, we need to plan. That's what makes us actually not do so well, is that when we don't plan, then we don't really envision what we need to envision to get things done. I'm going to share with you my 5-point weight loss preparedness plan. I'm going to share with you ultra-specific mental clearing formula, because you know what? Yes, we need a mental formula to help us. Also, I'm going to go through an ultra plate plan formula. And what that means is I'm going to build your plate for you. But before that, we're going to go through some foods to help you build your plate, as I'm giving you structure to your plate, and you can build it yourself. Because once you leave, I want one of your meals to look exactly like the plate that you built. So this is going to be high energy. We're going to be moving through things. So I want you to take a deep breath. Expand your arms out just like the girl. Stretch. Pretend like you're on the beach if you love that. And now the thing that I want you to do is push the exhale out. And close your eyes for a moment. Deep inhale. Stretch and open up. Open up that chest and just open up your body. Meditative kind of exhale. Let it go. Nice and big. We forget to do that. So I'm going to do a quick scenario for you so you can learn a couple things before we get into each step, because there's quite a bit of information I'm going to be teaching you. As you can see, there's quite a bit. So the biggest thing is that last week I had a person talk about, her name is Kathy, talk about a situation where she has no energy in the morning, but in the evening she does. And that it seems like this happens quite a bit. And from doing this for over 16 years, I really focus in on what I understand about the organs. So you're going to hear me talk about the liver and the kidneys and the circulation and the the meridian points and all that, because your body has natural circulation. As we know, our toes fall asleep, our hands fall asleep, and so on. So with Kathy having no energy in the morning but evenings, you know what this points to? And you don't know this yet, but you're going to learn more about this. But why does she have no energy in the morning and energy at night? Well, I'm going to give you a top 10 list as we go on to kind of help understand like the foods that may help Kathy. And this may be you also, but it points directly to the liver stagnation, that her liver is having a hard time. So it doesn't mean you go to the doctor and the doctor's going to say, oh my gosh, you have fatty liver, or oh my gosh, your liver, is struggling. I'm talking more on the wellness side. So you may already have your history with your doctor, and you may have some stats that you want changed, and you're trying to change the foods that you're eating. But I want you to think about that if your liver's struggling, then at least it gives you one solution right now, that you need to start nurturing that area. And since this points directly for me and you as you're learning more about yourself, this points directly that the liver needs nurturing. So you do need a top 10 list of foods that you need to eat, or top 20. Add them to your grocery list. But you also need to understand the lifestyle when you have this. So let's go into the physicality if your liver is having issues. Liver issues can be from so many different things, depending on if you take medicine, to if you are living a lifestyle that's like a high intense stress lifestyle. So in Kathy's situation, see yourself in this situation if you're dealing with this, and I want you to put a message in on the right side. You can type in what you're struggling with. Where's your energy at? Where are you struggling at? But for lifestyle, if you're dealing with liver situation and you want to start declogging that energy so that your liver works for your body the way it should, the way you are going to be losing these 10 pounds, then I want you to start thinking about slowing down for moments through the day and breathing. Now, this person's meditating. You don't have to go in that big of a state. It depends on how extreme you are in what you're feeling right now. But let's say you have some mild issues. Right away, I want you to really touch and feel the situation of every time you breathe, how your body changes just on the cellular level. And your body starts feeling like it circulates more, and just breathe as we did earlier and just keep that breathing going. And if you add that in the morning, some point in the afternoon, that in itself will kind of reset your system, almost like reset your adrenaline gland, and it's going to help you with dealing with stress in a better way. It's like a scale. If you keep going, you only have a short fuse, because our willpower it's like a resource that we can use up easily. So once you give back to yourself by the breathing, it kind of resets it so you really are a powerhouse all day. And this is just a seed in on what you're going to learn later, because this is important when you are trying to create a high energy day. Also for workouts, we're talking about the meridian points here. So you would physically start your day with these stretches. Then you'd finish your day with these stretches. Now what is opening up here is her gallbladder through these stretches. So when you're dealing with when you're about late 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on, you can even have examples of like fatty tissue that kind of drops in right around your eye on the outside. Well, that's your gallbladder not breaking the fat down within your body. That also may mean that your gallbladder, maybe you don't have a gallbladder, so there's not stuff to really break it down, that the liver is overworking. So the liver and the gallbladder work together. Now, what these stretches do is it opens up and releases the energy within that meridian point. Now, this is really important. Now, this is the holistic part too, that even if you haven't done this before, I want you to hone in on why I'm even teaching this stuff and how people are getting results. And this is a great way to stop, take some breaths, declog that area, and giving yourself a stretch and de-stressing your body is the ultimate. That's what's going to keep you as a powerhouse person. So why I'm here is I kind of had almost like a breakdown at some point when I was in my 30s. Now, I've thought about, eating healthy and working out, and I always worked out. My family, my dad, my brother, and I, we were known as the people who worked out all the time. It was just one of those things that now that my whole family didn't work out, but I was so proud of, that was my thing, working out, and that that was like, I'm so cool because I'm working out. Well, that was only one component of really reality of what we really need to do. So what happened was I was a very big stressor, and I got to the point where I could barely even get through my day because I had anxiety, I was hypothyroid, and I was dealing with some massive stuff. I wasn't happy with my career. I was in corporate, and I was a mom, and I felt like I was a failure as a wife, and it was only because I couldn't be present. My husband is wonderful, and he's been there with me in my ups and downs, as I've been there for him too. But with those things going on, not being happy in my day in, day out life of, being away from the family, things started changing for me where I felt like I was flowing in the air, and I did have no floor. I didn't have a ceiling. And I didn't know if I was going to get lost because that's how scared I was in not even knowing myself or even what made me smile. So I haven't stopped smiling for a while, so I was extremely lost. Once I finally realized what was going on, and there was a wake-up call because I was getting a pain in my head. Every time I would shift, left or right, it didn't matter. On the top left, up above my brow, I was having this extreme bad pain in my head. And I was, just telling people, oh my gosh, I'm having this pain. But I wasn't equating it to just, I was equating it to just one thing, I should say. And I was equating it to that I was having a lot of sodas, like a soda every day or something. And maybe two a day. It just kind of was what it was in my lifestyle at that point. And I didn't realize how much I was putting myself down lower and lower into the, into basically not being able to find myself again because I was having terrible diet. I almost stopped working out because I didn't even have the energy to keep myself going. Always stressed out, manic stressed out. And I wasn't doing good at my job anymore. I mean, I basically was just, it was basically not a successful lifestyle. And so the tools that I'm going to share with you today, the stuff that I'm going to explain, I want to tell you right now. I'm going to share everything that I learned. And these steps and strategies take a while. So you're going to just be scratching at the surface level, but this gets deep. And this is where your transformation happens, is stepping in, stepping in. That's all I can say. Stepping in and getting it done. I was stuck in my story, and that's why I'm going to focus in on your mental game, because for me, I spent my whole life telling me how dumb I was. You're dumb. You're not going to be able to pass the CPA exam. You're whatever. And I kept saying it over and over. And since I worked out, I expected my body to look perfect, exactly the way that I thought it should look like. Now today, I believe that my body can look the way I want it to based on where I am in my emotional story and where I am with everything that's happening in my life. And you need to have the balance though. So I got out of my story, and I started really getting things done. So here we go. So today is where you're going to learn to start listening to yourself, which is the ultimate. You're going to make this your knowledge hour. You're going to have a refreshed look on health, and this is your opportunity today. So it's going to take a mind shift. And my biggest question to you, and I'm going to bring it up and thread it throughout, what would you do to get results and have a breakthrough to energetically open up your body? What would you do? So I want you to think about that, because I'm going to have you do some certain strategies here. So we're going to get started right here. How to lose 10 pounds this month, even if you failed. So this is the last call of this, but I want you to use these strategies when we roll into next week. I want you to move in and just smoothly move into the next strategies that we're going to be learning. So my question for you is, if you do what you always did, you will get what you always got. So my question is, are you going to stick there and be stubborn and put your feet in the ground and say, well, I'll take some of this stuff? I want you in here 100%. Stick with me. So I'm going to have 3 stages here, and you're going to learn how to see yourself holistically, and this is the first stage. You'll have a second stage and third stage. Each stage is going to help you along the way to keep yourself motivated and focused. So I want you to learn how to choose high converting energy foods. So we kind of have to take a step back. We have to start thinking about, where is your energy? Where is your energy? Now, the biggest question I have for you, though, So I want you to see the positive. Where's your energy? Make sure that you have some space there, that there's some certain times of your day where you have your energy. So know that you got that area. It's like, okay, I don't need to worry about that. I need to keep everything over there just the way it is. Now let's go into the area where we are dealing with your lowest energy. Now, your lowest energy is a big indicator of a health issue. Now, the doctor's not going to say, oh, you're sick because you have low energy, but this is telling you that your body is in low, stagnated energy. The stagnation in your body is pointing that your liver, your kidneys, your heart, something is not working fully at its optimal, and it might be everything. It might be everything because they're just bogged down. So focus in on what time of the day is your lowest energy, because we're going to back into that. Now, while you're thinking about that, you're going to have your piece of paper and pen, which I should have brought up right before we talked. But as you walked into this webinar mini class, I know that you got a download of a book also. If you printed that, please work through that, and you're going to be able to have some paper to work on. If not, just get a blank piece of paper. Now, I want you to think about that though, but I'm going to take you through and walk you through what a successful high energy day looks like, because if you really don't have a pulse on reality and where this takes you, then you're going to believe maybe that you have the highest energy day that you can have. But any lows in your life, in your daily life, is going to be an indicator that something needs to be shifted. So, okay, so what's a successful high energy day? What does it look like? You're going to start your morning, and your liver enzymes are going to naturally flow within your blood, and you're going to wake up and you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to start the day, and you don't have anxiety. If you have anxiety, that points into some stagnation in your body. So if things aren't really working, that's not the right morning. So we're going to bring it into that you feel good. You're ready to get up and start your day. You're ready to get in there, maybe work out, because that's your power morning. You want to build your morning. And you feel like you're ready to take a stretch, and you're just like positive feeling, I'm ready to start my day. Then when you get to your workday morning, then you're going to, excuse me, my phone is ringing. That's what happens on the Tuesday calls, by the way. Tuesday calls, that's what happens is I forgot to turn my phone off because it happens every week. You'd think I would be in this great structure of doing all my steps, so shame on me. Okay, so your work day morning is going to be where you are going to be feeling great. And you're going to be feeling like you are social. Like you don't feel like you're stuck and just, I'm feeling like you're working and that the day is, just already dragging. But your workday morning is going to be about that you feel vibrant. You started a power morning, got your great breakfast, and then you started your workday and you're feeling like, okay, I'm ready for the day, and you're ready to go through and power through and have high productive day. If you own your business, you know this is important. If you are in a work situation where you want to accelerate every day because your work is your ultimate important, that's kind of the badge that we wear of what we're really good at. So see this woman, she's happy, and that you're feeling happy. You're feeling happy. Lunchtime, you're ready to not sit at your desk and work, and there's going to be days like that, but that you have that energy where you feel like you're ready to go out and be social. That's showing that everything's in balance. If you find yourself hiding and not being fully aware of your energy lows and the stress that you have, I want you to think about this. Maybe lunchtime is where you start getting your energy low because you feel like you're ready to take a nap. So this is where you would say, okay, this is my energy low. But this is, if your energy high is going great through the day, you're going to be ready. You're going to want to pick up the phone, say hello, talk to your friends, and really enjoy your lunchtime. Dinner is you're going to be giddy because you had a great day, very high productive day. And this is the truth. When you start using these tools, as I'm sharing with you, this is how your day is going to be. So again, let's revisit. What time of day is your low energy? Write that down and let's go for it. I want you to build your plate of healthy food around the area that you are low energy. So let's say at 10 o'clock, for some reason, you just never was able to get up, just like Kathy, as we were talking about. And Kathy was basically eating maybe not such a good breakfast. So if you're feeling like at 10 o'clock or your morning's not going very well, I want you to think about your breakfast and make it a powerful breakfast. And we're going to build your plate for you if that's it. Now, if you have actually Kathy's scenario where you wake up and you're just exhausted, I want you to go all the way to your dinner, and I want you to clean up your dinner. And the ultra specific plate plan that I'm going to give you today, stick with it. Stick with it for a month. Build it and learn how you can declog yourself by adding those foods that we're going to talk about. If you have the natural 2 or 3 p.m. slump, and I say natural because most people do, then maybe your lunch, maybe your attitude towards the day may be getting to you. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is the food, but we'll talk about the emotional side of everything too. So, but you want your food to be extremely ultra healthy at lunchtime if you have the 2 or 3 o'clock slump. So you see how that works? You're going to put that meal in right before that stagnation happens. So I'm giving you right now the top 10 foods that balance the body, because these foods are the ultimate. These foods are the foods that are going to help you bring your body into balance. And it's such a thing as acidic and alkaline. You really want your body into alkaline. It means you have enough vegetables, but if you have too much stress, your body's going to stay in a highly acidic area. And most of us, I know, when I start working with people, I usually don't give them the acidity test because automatically they're starting to learn how to connect with things. And most of us have too much stress or not enough good food or both, and that our body sits in that acidic state. So I want you to think about your top 10 foods here on the list that you would eat right now, because this is going to help build your plate. Spinach, artichoke, Brussels sprouts, cucumber, carrots, broccoli, asparagus, mangoes, papaya, pears. Now on the plate that we're going to build, I want you to have some natural sugar, so there's going to be some fruit there. So if you're picking a fruit, make sure you pick a vegetable too. Now with this top 10 list, you see how we're growing this. So we talked about your energy lows. Then we talked about your top 10 foods. Pick at least one. If you have a fruit, I want you to go back and pick a vegetable. Let's move on. Let's build the Ultra Plate Plan formula, because this is your third step, but we're going into stage 2 right now. So let's go for it. Let's build it. You're thinking about your prior results. Where was your energy low? And what were the foods that you chose that were your top 10 food? And what are you going to be implementing? These two are going to help build the time that you're going to be having this food. Because I can't ask you to be 100%. Let's go straight to that. So the first thing we're going to do is get to that one meal that is affecting you right now. So whatever that meal is, the time of day that you need to adjust, and the foods that you chose. Because I want you to go into problem solving. I don't want to do goals. Goals is just like pressure on ourselves. We're going to say, okay, we need to be doing this. Then we're going to wake up the next day and we go, oh, I was so excited about that yesterday. It just seems so easy. I'll just put it off to the next day. Oh, yes, the next day I'll start. But if you have low energy and you're feeling like you know that you need to change your food, I want you to get in there and do some problem solving and get into action. So let's build. You have your 4 quadrants on your plate. Here's where you're going to take notes. You can do a snapshot of the screen, whatever, because we're going to build it. Something that's naturally sugary, which would be your pears, which would be your grapefruit that you see here. So then, especially because as I really focus in on sugar levels, because most of us are eating too much sugar in everything that we're doing. So to get yourself balanced, you need to kind of get into the sweet foods, but not the junk food of the foods. So your first step would be adding a fruit. Then you're going to add your protein. And your protein is going to be seeds, nuts, or your meat. Do it as clean as you can. The red meat, if you're doing red meat that night, why don't you do grass-fed beef? If you're doing white meat, make sure that it's free range, grain-free. anything, and then maybe even hormone free. Get as clean as you can. Now you're going to make that the palm size, so you can grab a handful of nuts. You're going to go with your meat. But that protein's important. You need protein every meal. Also, through this transition, you're going to need some type of starch because your belly is used to having some weight there. And this may even take the placement of bread. Maybe you have bread at every meal because you love bread or most meals. So if this is lunchtime, you can mix all this together, have the fruit on the side, have the quinoa, black rice, red rice, brown rice, couscous, and you can add the nuts to that. And here you're going to add your vegetables. So what was the fruit that you chose? If you did choose one. If not, make sure you add an apple at least at the top. And then you're going to add different colors of vegetables. To start, I want you to have at least 2 vegetables on your plate. As time goes on, I want you to even eliminate that fruit into every meal because that fruit, you know, you can have like a fruit a day, like an apple a day or something, and that's perfect. But when you eat fruit at every meal, sometimes you need that for the transition. So think about your transition, and this is you getting to know yourself holistically, what you need. So this is your ultra-specific plate plan. So you see we had gone through 3 different areas. We focused in on your energy. We built your plan based on the top 10 foods that are going to bring your body into balance. And we have a specific, ultra-specific plate plan, and take this for a month. Within a week, you're going to have more energy. Within a week, your midsection is going to flatten. I used to do a lot of flat belly strategies. Well, this is one of them. Okay, so we're still in stage 2, but what do I not want you to give up? Let's don't leave stage 2 till I talk about this. I don't want you to take those 3 strategies that I just gave you and get extreme and go into the diet mentality and that you have to do everything 100%. So what is it that I would tell you not to do? And it's something that my clients really get surprised about. They're like, what? So this will be your biggest failure. So if you're finding that you know that you have a drink a night and you know that you're doing it because maybe it helps you with the day. Well, the first step here, I'm going to tell you, don't even talk about that right now. As your body gets more balanced, then we'll start talking about that. Let's say you're doing a candy bar a day. Then that's your crutch, and that's what you're leaning on. Let's not take that away. Let's don't take that away. Let's start the shifts. Let's don't do 100% of everything. Let's start getting connected. And I want you to stay focused on that. So a lot of people say what? Say what? Yes. So do not give up eating or everyday occurrence of something that happens. Stick with your ultra plate plan. Come see me next week on our calls, and that will go in even deeper because each step away, we're chunking away, and you're going to find that your body's going to be becoming more balanced. And we're going to have these great conversations because you're going to be learning so much more about yourself. And this is the truth. All right. So lose weight, afraid to make a new step, add regular food back, gain weight. So what does all these little statements mean? Well, it means the diet mentality. So if you really gave up that one specific crutch that you're using every day, it's going to throw you into a state of not being successful. So you're going to be doing something and you're going to try and be doing something 100% and you're going to fail. There's no way around it. That's what's happened in our past. And that's why things have failed. And that's why we're here to learn how to have a no-fail plan. And this is it. Sound good? All right. So let's go into mental clearing plan formula because, yes, you need a mental plan. There is no success without getting your A game on. And we struggle within our brain because our brain, we know so much. Heck, we have Google out there. Besides that, we know a lot about ourselves. But when we're doing stuff that we know is not right, that puts a battle with our brain within our brain. So we need to have a mental plan here. So I want you to focus in. These pictures are related with your body balance. And this woman is focused on being in her center of space. So I want you to add breathing. So you see, this is actually your fourth thing that we're talking about. We're still in stage 2. But we're building this plan for you that truly is what's going to make you successful. So take a breath here for a moment and start thinking about this. How much do you need that relaxed breathing? How much is it affecting you during the day that you know you're not exhaling? How much is it affecting that your brain doesn't have clarity, that your productivity goes down because maybe your food hasn't been in alignment, which we've already dealt with, because you haven't been breathing, so you've dealt with anxiety through the day because you haven't stayed focused on your internal self. Also, that your brain really is connected with your body, so your body's staying connected with what is happening with the brain and the body, and how you're feeling, and bringing it all together. So I want you to take some time to take some steps to breathe, and you're going to set a timer, and this is it. You're going to have a 10 a.m. timer, and you're going to have a 1 p.m. timer. That's going to be on your phone. That's going to be on your Outlook, if that's what you use for your software for your calendar. You're going to do your Google Calendar, whatever you have, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Remember at the beginning, I was telling you I was planting a seed of how important the breathing was. So this is just a timer to tell yourself, stop. Get yourself in check. Take 3 breaths. And let yourself feel those breaths. The big inhale, the exhale. Let yourself be there present. Let it reset your adrenaline gland. Let it reset your cortisol, your hormone that expands our waistline. Let it reset your cholesterol level, because that cholesterol hormone also wreaks havoc in our body, as we know. If we have high cholesterol, to deal with the stress. 1 p.m., same thing. Stop. Take a breather. If any of these times are times that you have meetings and all that kind of stuff, we'll shift a different time for you. But 2. So you see how we're starting to build this plan that's taking all 3 points here. We've talked earlier about the liver and the stretch that does really good for you to declog that area. We're talking about the food, and we're talking about the mental game. Okay, so stage 3, let's get in here and let's talk about your implementation phase. So I want you to be ready with the 5-point weight loss preparedness checklist. Now, this is important because this is where you're going to build. You need to be true to your steps here today. Remember how I said earlier, I was going to bring this up, that you have to be acquainted with how painful of a spot that you're in right now, and the confusion you may have with changes that are happening in your body. You don't know how to lose the weight. To, your heart palpitations, you don't know what's going on because your heart just, accelerates real fast. Or that you have, and the list goes on, that you have, fears, and you're trying to get your fears about your health, and so that's brought you in here today to have this discussion. So on your calendar, I want you to set your 10 o'clock time and your 1 o'clock time, shift it to what's going to work for your lifestyle. On your calendar, I want you to set when you're going to go shopping, grocery shopping. We look through the top 10 foods, add those foods onto your master grocery list. Also, have a reminder layout. A reminder layout. So lay something out that reminds you of the steps that you said that you're going to do. So get Post-it notes. Put it where you first, where you first get your water. Maybe you know that you need to step into drinking more water, and so you put a reminder: drink 8 ounces, drink out of this cup the first thing you wake up in the morning. Lay out your workout clothes so that you already have them out and you're ready to work out. There's no anxiety, no question, but you're giving those prompts because today you're motivated and you're ready to make those changes. But if you don't give yourself reminders, you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm not ready for that. I don't have time for that. Also, no falling into sabotages. So this is the area that you get your mental game focused. You can do it. We've done easy implementation steps. And these steps expand and become bigger, and you learn how to give more to yourself. But today, we're just starting to step into this new wellness plan. If you've been here over the weeks, you know that it expands and gets bigger, and just being around and listening to this stuff helps remind you and reset your mind. I have a client, Stacy, who the more that she is involved in these discussions, the more it helps her start really thinking deeply about her stressors, and the more she has more alignment through her day. So you get these reminders and these resets every week, and this is why it's important, is that you learn that you can do it. As the week goes on, it's further and further away from our calls. The strategies that you're learning, sometimes it's hard because you're starting to implement new things into your life. And maybe one of your sabotages is that you keep telling yourself you can't do it. Oh, I can't lose these last 10 pounds. Or I can't lose these 40 pounds. Oh, I'm just exhausted. I can't do it. Whatever you are saying to yourself that you can't do something, I want you to bring it right back. You can do it. Also, don't get lost in your plate. We just built your structure of what your plate should look like. Give yourself that space. I can commit to this for a month. I want to lose weight. I'm tired of the pain, the physical pains I'm having. I'm tired of the emotional pain of the stress. Connect. Problem solve. Don't get lost in your plate. The new one that I'm bringing up to finish this off is start your journaling. Start talking to yourself. Today you've been writing and you're listening to yourself, and it helps you start listening to yourself more, and you see it and you're being heard. And sometimes we can go in cycles in our head if we are not writing it. So journaling is important. So pull out your journal. Pull out some papers. Journal every day. Journal what's going on. Each day you're doing something new now with your structure of your day. So write about it. What are you proud of? Do some gratitude journaling so then it gives you that space to want to breathe, really invest in yourself. And remember to celebrate. Now this is important. If you don't celebrate, then there's no space in there to really take a step back and look at the success that you've done, and it gets lost then in translation. And then the attitude of, I didn't do everything correctly, that's why I haven't lost my 10 pounds. When you start celebrating, you start looking at the positive side, and you go, okay, well, some things are not working, so let me shift things. And it keeps you in that positive mode so that you get things done. Don't walk away from the positive feeling that you get from the space of making a commitment to yourself. Don't be embarrassed about making a commitment to yourself. Step into it. So, mirror, mirror, are you ready to unleash tremendous power of healing that lies dormant with you? Mirror, mirror, are you ready to restore balance on all levels of your body, mind, and spirit? Remember, nothing that I've shared with you today is theory. I've used every single one of these strategies in my personal energy plan. And these are what my clients are using too, because they are worked through, strategized with, reused over and over to finally get the plans that work. So one thing to take with you today is that I'm not extra special, and I do not have access to exclusive resources and tools. Remember, I have been in the industry for over 15 years. So with that, I've seen failures and I've seen successes, and the successors are what brought me in to building what I've shared with you today. And it's all about signature strategies, because I've been able to give you lists and strategies and ways to look at things that help you, and that's what works. So as you see, this has worked for me, and these strategies that I shared with you, and this can be for you too. So the obvious question is that you're saying to yourself is, how do I get the results now that I've tried in the past to do? Remember, I said this is a no-fail plan. So you have a choice. Stay with the complicated and confusing, or let's just get into simple and structured. So we're going right into how I can help you. At the beginning, I told you that we're going to be talking about a structure that I have that builds exactly what you saw. Now, in here, it builds everything from full coaching support and being able to ask questions to getting a book that gives you all the strategies and the support that you need. And that's your Energy Unleashed workbook. So you're learning how to reset your blood sugar and learning how to have high energy through the day. You're going to get videos that help you stay focused on inspiration, motivation. And that's what we do on the Tuesday calls, is keeping you focused in on what's important to you. And new tips and tricks, new ways of looking at things. That's what you're going to get with the videos. Live coaching calls give you that ultra specific mind focus strategies in those certain areas that we're building. So you have different modules within the Energy Unleashed. I'm going to break it down for you. But the live coaching calls, you ask any questions, a Q&A time. So with your Energy Unleashed workbook, if you are a learner through reading, this book is going to help you. You're going to get one-on-one email help too. So if you have a question, My assistant will for sure tell me we have an email and we need to answer it right away. I may even catch it. We're going to get in there. We're going to jump into the one-on-one email. Somebody's asking a question. Let me make sure I answer them. Within 24 hours, your question will be answered. Also, in the videos, you're going to learn that there's different ways to be looking at things because you're going to be inspired by these 2-minute, 10-minute videos that's going to help you. And it's going to be threaded throughout this 4-month plan, work plan, program to increase your energy through the day. So today I gave you strategies to step in and start doing. Energy Unleashed is a 4-month program that teaches you how to get your health and understand yourself in a space that you know you'll have no fears anymore because you're going to learn so much about yourself. The live coaching calls, you can ask anything. You can ask questions that you're being stuck in. You can ask for me to help motivate you because you're feeling like you're stuck. You're going to hear from others that are stuck in certain spaces in their life and in their story. And so it's going to help you open up and realize that you're not alone, that you have the same struggles that everybody else has. And the best part is you're going to be losing some weight. It's going to go into the belly fat because that's where we're going to start balancing the hormones. I'll talk about that in a moment. It's also going to help because you're going to calm your body down. So you're going to calm the cholesterol hormone. You're going to calm the adrenaline hormone and the cortisol hormone. So those 3 hormones get calmed because that's where, if we're high stress, we just keep going and going and going, and those hormones get way off balance. You're going to balance your blood sugar, and the more that you invest into this program, the more you're going to learn how to balance your blood sugar, how to consistently keep it balanced. If you are on medicine right now, I've had people that have brought their A1C down to a level where they didn't have to take medicine anymore. So there's possibilities. So let me take a moment here and talk about Michaela, because steps and strategies that you learn in this program is exactly what Michaela used. Oh, I'm sorry. And you see the picture, how she looks now to how she looked before. And this is her finger right here. She sent me this picture and she said, Rhonda, this is what I looked like before I started working with you. She was using food as comfort food, and she ate fast food every day, drank soda every day. And she could not and did not do much physical exercise. She couldn't because she was having asthma attacks when she started working out. So now she's not dealing with that. She was not feeling good about herself. Well, how can you feel good about yourself when your body's out of balance? Your mental game is not there. You don't have your community, in which that was one of the things that Kayla was struggling with. And she didn't have a good system. She didn't have a good system, but she also didn't have a good support system. So Energy Unleashed is where you work with other people. It's online. It's a virtual, just like you're meeting me today. And you are able to have the calls come to you at any time, because let's say that you're working and it's the timing doesn't work for you. Well, they are all recorded. And this is the stuff that Michaela used to get her changes. And she actually learned that she was stuck in her liver and her gallbladder area. So we did special strategies with stretching, food, and lifestyle for her. So Energy Unleashed is your no-fail plan. Let me tell you why. This is really important. We're going to reset your hormones: estrogen, thyroid, testosterone, growth, insulin, cortisol. Remember I told you I was hypothyroid? Well, you're going to learn how to balance that. How you're going to do this is you're going to go into module 1. This is your first one. So you're going to have a live call. We're going to get you motivated, make you feel like, yes, I did the right thing. And we're going to get ourselves going. And you're going to learn about the art of visual diagnosis. You're going to learn that your body is carrying physical cues. And you're going to learn how to diagnose and prevent future conditions. And you're not going to be racing to your doctor every time, because we have those fears. When we go to the doctor because I have this on me. Or sometimes we don't go to the doctor at all because we're afraid their doctor is going to tell us something's wrong. So without blood tests, x-rays, or invasive procedures, you're going to learn more stuff about yourself, because you're going to learn to listen. Now, the art of visual diagnosis is visually being able to see what's going on. And you're going to have some structure here, because you're going to have 3 classes within that module. And your tools that you're going to build is understanding how the art of visual diagnosis works. Now, this is important because as a health coach, I use it all the time. And there's a learning curve. But whatever you're dealing with right now, we're going to help clear that up as you're going through your program. But as you go through life, you're going to be stuck in different areas. You're going to learn the foods that you should be eating based on the struggles that you're having later on. So this information you're going to carry with for the rest of your life, your ideas and that you know about yourself, the ideas of what you want your future lifestyle to be, what you want your skin to start looking like. You're going to learn this through your first class. Also going to learn how to declog your energy stagnation. And this is where you start learning why you've been having problems with not having weight and fat loss. Weight loss and fat loss is a big issue these days. We have obesity running in our every group that you're in. You're going to find at least 30% of those people in obese situation. And now we're finding that diabetes 2 and insulin resistance and pre-diabetes, that about at least 30% of our world is dealing with diabetes. You may not even know it, or pre-diabetes, because you can live with the symptoms for over 10 years. So in this session, you're going to start learning about yourself and maybe stuff that you haven't actually realized about yourself. You're also going to learn how to use food to be your medicine. You're going to learn how to diagnose things that are happening by using the guide on what's your first steps and strategies for your art of visual diagnosis. Just within that module, you're going to already be eating foods. You're going to already start strategizing on how you're going to have your power energy for the day. Module 2, you're going to learn organ and meridian diagnosis. So now we're inside the body. We're going to learn how to decipher symptoms. So if you say, I have been having pain on my right hip, well, guess what? You're going to learn how to connect the foods and the physical workout that you need to do to nurture that area based on physical imbalances. So you can build your dietary and lifestyle plans, but this gets you to the root cause. When you go out and Google something, Google's not going to give you the root cause. This is going to give you an answer. So this is where you get the answer. This goes deeper. This goes layers. Google is one layer. So let's get in and learn more at Energy Unleashed. This is where you're going to understand the organ and meridian points. This is important because this is going to tell you how you're going to be able to choose and keep building your food plan. And you're going to be losing weight because we're already in the second module. And weight might not mean the scale moves, but your pants and your clothes are going to feel and look different. Class 2, you're going to learn the steps so you can declog your energy stagnation and release daily pains. And you're going to learn the points that you're dealing with. Maybe you have pains in your hands, in your ankles, and it's going to guide you, and you're going to use that guide so you can have easy implementation for massive changes within your body. I was working with a client, her name's Mary Kay, and she was dealing with a lot of pain within her body overall, and she dealt with cancer in her past, and so her bones were just very weak and not feeling good. And so the thing that she had to deal with is like, she thought that she was going to be feeling like this for the rest of her life, and she learned that her mental game and the foods that she was choosing was really affecting her. So just within a week, the pains were subsiding. So this is going to be a massive change for you because you're going to leave the fear behind and you're going to learn how to strategize within yourself. And it's going to be a wonderful experience. No more of those fears that I talked about at the top 6 that I hear from other clients. All right, so the Meridian Point workout, I'm going to give you a bonus here. We're going to work out together and you're going to learn how to declog these areas, but instead of just reading from the book, I'm going to bring you in to a bonus where you're going to work out with me. We're going to talk about all the points. So if you're a learner where you need hands-on stuff, where you're going to have to physically learn more about this, you're going to learn it through the workouts. And the workouts are going to help you because you're going to go, oh, I need to stretch the back of my leg. I'm always tight there. Well, you're going to learn how to open that up because that's your kidney and your liver. I'm sorry, your kidney and your bladder area where you're stuck. And so you're going to actually learn how to move so you can declog your body. So it's a special yoga we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the Meridian Point workout. And you're going to learn in Module 3. Now, this is important because you need your mental game. You need to figure out the top sabotages that you're doing and how you're going to clear them. So there's going to be some exercises in here. You're going to learn what your personal sabotages are. I'm going to give you the top 10 that I've heard over the years. Some of them, you may not even know it's a sabotage, but once you start clearing it up, you're going to realize you're going to feel declogged. Also, you're going to learn how to get rid of the mental blockage and start saying, I can do this. You're going to learn your mental game and lifestyle reset guide so that your mental game becomes more positive, that you learn how to power up in the morning so that you have high productivity and you're working towards your weight loss. This also builds a very successful daily ritual. You're going to learn how to start your day. You're going to learn what's going to work for you, and that's your problem solving. What's going to work for you to declog these areas? You're going to build, I call it your power moments. Module 4 is the next stage. So we go in, start look at the sabotages, but then we go even deeper and we talk about the chakras. This is how to address the 7 chakras to holistic self-discovery. So the chakras within your body, that's where we get stuck mentally. But we also bring in the physical. And then in this area, it's another food plan because you've been learning to the prior modules how your energy is stuck. Well, at this point, your energy is going. You may have some stuck areas here and there, some days that are off because you're still new at using this. We're going to go into the chakra system and learn how to work through the 7 chakras. Now, this is big because this is what brings it all together, your mental game, and this goes in deep. And this is the stuff that you don't want to start off with because it goes really deep, and you need to start clearing your body before you start working with the chakras. But you're going to start using the tools to get into the root cause. You're going to start remembering some childhood stuff that's going to help you stay focused. You're going to learn how the mental stagnation has stopped you from weight loss, stopped you from fat loss, stopped you from losing weight throughout your belly. You're going to learn how to build your future lifestyle because this is where you start opening up to the world of I can. I have possibilities. So we're already on the 4th module, and it takes a little bit to get there. Self-evaluation, the last module, is vital because this is how you feel inspired, motivated, and keep yourself focused. I don't want you falling back into your old stagnation and not using these tools. So module 5 is bringing it all together. You need that support to bring it together so that it really means something to you. And you're already going to physically feel good, mentally feel good, but you need to revisit stuff. And you need to learn how to keep yourself inspired and motivated in the steps that helped you. So we're going to review what made sense for you. And what are some new things you may want to add on as we're revisiting. Also, you get support in your free Facebook group membership. Now, if this is sounding really good to you, I want you to go to rhondaliebig.com FitCamp. You see how there's a double T with the fit and a hyphen in between the FitCamp. All of this gives you the support and the power to do your transition that you have not been able to before. You have your workbook. You have your one-on-one email. You have things that are going to be taught and trained through videos that are going to keep your mental focus, your live Q&A coaching calls, asking any question so that you resolve issues that you've been stuck on that you just can't work through, or new things that have come up. So you got the 4 plan here that gives you the ultimate. Now, if you have any questions at all, and you really think that this is the place for you, I want you to go to rhondaliebig.com /fit with the double T hyphen in camp. Camp. And today is the last day to jump in, and I want you to get signed up. Now, this is worth, if you were to work with me one-on-one, this is like a $4,000 program. But with working with the group and having the extra support and having me as your coach, it's actually going to be $497. And if that is something that doesn't feel too comfortable, we also have a payment plan for you. So you can get in and pay $130 per month for a few months there. So I want you in here making some good decisions for yourself and making sure that you are ready to not be afraid of the fear of your future health, that you are ready to make changes, and that you are ready to step in and meet the new future you by learning about all of these areas that you need to bring together for your no-fail plan. So rhondaliebig.com /fit with the double T hyphen camp. I want you to go over there and sign up today, because today is the last time until months later that I'm going to re-establish some space to review doing this program again. But jump in today. I'd love to see you there. You have an insightful day. And if you are ready, I'll see you on the other side. Talk to you soon.